रिजल्ट अनाउंस्ड, गेट का रिजल्ट अभी भी आया है। और गेट के अंदर सबसे जबरदस्त चीज है कि बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट अपीयर करते हैं, अप्रोक्सीमेटली फॉर द सीएस बैकग्राउंड इफ आई विल से मोर देन 1.5 लाख स्टूडेंट appeared in this particular paper. एग्जैक्ट डेटा तो अभी अनाउंस नहीं हुआ, वेरी सून वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट कि अनाउंस भी हो जाए। Some of the students are basically getting the good marks and some of the students definitely they are basically getting the less marks। और हाई मार्क्स और लेस मार्क्स के बावजूद कुछ लोगों में काफी खुशी का माहौल है एंड सम ऑफ द पीपल आर वेरी टेंस्ड, राइट। आई हैव टॉक्ड अराउंड 100 to 200 पीपल कुछ का ग्रुप डिस्कशन में एंड कुछ खुश भी थे, कुछ गम भी थे, स्पेशली फॉर द नॉर्मलाइजेशन। इन सब चीजों पे बात करेंगे, पर उससे पहले हमारे साथ हैं एक जबरदस्त टॉपर और जिनका इस साल गेट 2025 के अंदर AIR 20 लेके आया। तो सबसे पहले जानते हैं अभिना, वेलकम टू द सेशन।
Hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me here.
ओके, तो अभिज्ञा प्लीज टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट यू, वेयर यू हैव स्टडीड और क्या आपका बैकग्राउंड रहा है, कैसे कैसे आपने प्रिपरेशन करी, व्हेन यू हैव स्टार्टेड द प्रिपरेशन ऑफ गेट एग्जामिनेशन।
Yeah, sure. So I completed my BTech in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering from Hyderabad. It's a Tier 3 college. And actually, I didn't plan to prepare for GATE in entire of my BTech. I never thought of GATE at all. After I've passed out, because of certain circumstances, I had to like find a job and stuff. So what happened was I was trying to find, but I was unable to. In that time, I thought of writing GATE around September. I thought of writing it actually. It was very late in my opinion, first of all, because September you only have around 5, 6 months, obviously. So I thought maybe it's not possible, but then I thought we'll give it a try, and if it doesn't work out, we can see, because anyways I've had the gap in between, and getting much more gap, I didn't think at that point was a loss for me. So what I did was I made a very big schedule. Like I wanted to, because I was at a time constraint and I was also very desperate in that situation. I think any schedule I made, I was trying to follow it continuously. What I did was I planned to complete my syllabus by November itself. So September, October, November, literally 3 months only for completing the syllabus. And
Oh,
I didn't believe I will be able to complete it as well, but I actually completed in 3 months. Literally, I used to like sit, keep watching lectures in 3x speed, 3.5x speed, whatever speed. If it's English, then I watch it very fast. If it's Hindi, then I had to like slow it down because I'm not very well versed in Hindi and stuff. But if it's English, then I watch it in whatever speed fastly. I used to write notes. And obviously, I didn't have time, so I didn't write very long notes, but they were not very short also. I think it was like just enough notes for me to go back and read faster. The one drawback of this is like you can't revise because there's not much time for you to allocate separate time for revising and stuff. But still I completed everything in around 3 months. But if you complete syllabus in such a short span, what happens is you can't go much in depth and you can't practice a lot of questions. You can only like do what you have in the specific time. My plan was to do PYQs later after completing the syllabus. But then I realized one thing is like if I'm studying something and if I don't get into my memory at that point itself, like doing practicing on that, then later on, if I again take it and study, I literally do not remember anything. The first subject I started was with maths. So the after a few days, I tried to go back and see if I can remember anything. I literally felt like I don't remember anything. So from then on, what I did was whenever I complete a subject, I did the PYQs along with that as well. So my plan was very simple but very hectic as well. It's at your own risk to complete a schedule like this. Each subject gets 1 week. That's all. In that 1 week, I need to complete the syllabus and I need to complete the PYQs as well. So each week I just had the target, completed it in 3 months, and I was also in shock that I completed it in 3 months. But after 3 months, one thing I realized is I don't remember most of the things. Everything evaporated. And the next thing, what happened was I lost my PYQs. That's one of the biggest disappointment I had. I literally wrote very clearly, like for certain questions which were very important. I wrote the answers with some points and all. I lost all of them. But I think that was also one of the good thing, because now I had to sit and do the PYQs again. I think that came as an advantage because now I can have some practice again. Else I would have just written some tests or something. So I think till mid-December or something, I had to do PYQs again. And after mid-December, I started a mock test or topic-wise tests and stuff. What
okay,
happened is if I have some subjects or topics which are not well versed, I first do topic-wise tests and subject-wise tests in that first,
Okay.
and then go ahead and take a mock next. Like one day for subject-wise or topic-wise test, and next day for mock test, something like that. In the mocks, we can analyze it, right? I can know which topics I'm not able to solve. And obviously, in the beginning, I had a lots of silly mistakes, literally lots. I used to be like, will I even be able to, get good marks and gate with these many mistakes? But I think it just takes some practice with the gate. Most of the time it's the practice only. You have to just sit and keep doing, and then you will find the pattern in your mistakes, the way you're doing stuff with your subjects, or how you're thinking and why your perceptions are certain things are wrong and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah, do mocks
Abhigna,
and
one thing
analyze.
more. Actually, the
Yeah.
few students are basically asking the one doubt, ki what
Yeah,
is
yeah,
your
sure.
rank? How many marks you got, and in which shift, and what
Okay,
is the
okay.
normalized marks?
Okay. Sorry, I missed that, I guess. Yeah, I was shift one. My raw marks were 91.67, but it got normalized to 88.06. So that's my rank right now is 20.
Okay. So now please proceed.
Yeah, I wrote mocks continuously. I think my lowest was around 45, I guess. My lowest marks were around 45. I think, and my highest came, my last mock I ever wrote, that was my highest marks, around 75. And I just stopped there itself. I didn't want to write any more mocks because, and there was no time as well. 1 week was left. And I didn't want to discourage myself because I already got good marks. I just want to go with that mindset that I can do this. So then I just kept revising. I also made very short notes, like literal notes which fit in one page. I used to read them every day, like formulas and some important points which were there. Each subject gets one page, and I used to read them every day so that I don't forget the content I made. I did that for around 1.5 months, so there was no problem with remembering stuff, and there was no problem with anything. And in the exam also, I think the main thing in the exam is you need to have that calm mindset, because I've seen a lot of people after coming out of the gate exam saying that they got nervous, mainly in shift two. People, I think, they got very nervous seeing the paper, like what is this, what are these questions and stuff. I think no matter however the paper comes, if you're finding it difficult, then people in your level will also find it difficult. You have to go in with the exam with that mindset only, else if your mindset crumbles, then your exam also crumbles. So having that mindset in the exam is also very important. And I think as being in shift one, I think it came in my favor with me having a calm mindset as well, because the questions felt easy when I was solving them. And even at exam, I think you need to have a time management. You have to prepare how much time you'll take for solving the questions and how much time you'll take for, going back and revisiting them. I did that also. Whenever I was doing mocks, I used to time myself and see how much time I'm taking. So my plan was to take around 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on the question paper difficulty, to complete all the questions. At max 2.5 hours. I need to have at least half an hour to go back and revisit questions to see, because I make a lot of silly mistakes. And every time I go revisit, I actually find some of my silly mistakes. So I wanted to revisit questions always. So that's why. And actually, in the real gate exam, I completed the exam in 2 hours, and I had 1 hour to go back and sit and find my silly
Oh.
mistakes. So I actually found two questions which were actually wrong also. Like, I think it is always very important to go revisit if you have silly mistakes. At least like me, I have silly mistakes a lot. So I've completed the exam fastly and then went revisit. And that's why I think my accuracy improved a lot over the period of mock tests. Like at first it was like very bad, around 40% of the questions. I mean, if you don't know a certain question, it's a different thing. But if you know it and you're making it wrong, then it just feels bad later on. That's why.
Yes. Abhinav, one question asked from the Subham, right? How many hours you are basically devoting for the in a one
Yeah,
day?
yeah. So if I'm taking on lectures, like if I'm seeing lectures, then it will go from 8 to 10 hours on that particular day, because I needed to complete the syllabus faster. But if it's like I'm doing PYQs or I'm trying to solve questions on that particular day, then it will go from 6 to 8 hours. I don't stress my mind that much on that day. So on an average, 8 hours you take, because I am a dropper. I had a lot of time, so I could take 8 hours. I don't know if you are going to college, then you can find a different schedule based on your things.
And you have studied only for the around, you can say that you have started your journey of the gate. Are you 2024 pass out or 2025?
2024 pass out.
Okay. And then you have started your preparation in September
September. Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
So it's, you can say that it's quite interesting story, right? In the September, October, November, December, January, only within the 5 months of preparation, a
Yeah.
student are
Yeah.
basically securing under 100 rank That is the true motivation. And definitely
Yeah.
for those particular rank, definitely a good strategy is basically required. You have already
Yeah.
discussed about the some of the strategy also. But one thing I'm actually personally interested in this, how you have
Yeah,
covered the
sure.
entire syllabus within the 3 month, whether you have studied
Uh,
into the selective manner, or some of the subject you have studied into the detail, and some of the subject you have studied into the, you can say that in the selective manner. How you have covered
yeah.
the theoretical portion?
Yeah, I can tell you. I think C, DS, and Algo, these three are the subjects. I didn't see any videos or anything because I was already aware of them from before itself. So I didn't see any videos. For the other subjects, I had to. First thing is, if you're doing self-study, finding the correct resources itself takes some time actually, because once you start going to a playlist or a YouTube course, you just can't go back later. It's just time waste will happen. So first do proper research, see what kind of lecturers are, aligned with your teaching style, what pace they're going. I think I did a lot of research, whole internet. And then each subject, nothing, literally nothing. I used to sit with a fresh mind thinking I'm not preparing for GATE or anything. I'm just trying to learn this. I'm trying to grasp the knowledge from this. Having the pressure of an exam always gets into your brain. Don't think about the exam when you're trying, like in the starting steps itself. Maybe think about it in your revision phase, but not when you're learning phase. Try to get as much knowledge as possible. And in the first time, what happened, whatever the videos, whatever the sir or the professor I'm following, whatever the videos are there, I just watch everything. I won't miss any single topic or anything. And I don't watch videos where they're solving questions. I just skip them because I will do them later on itself, I used to think. And actually it works also because if I see the questions, I don't think I'll think by myself later on. So I just skip those parts, just see the topics, how what they're teaching. And if it feels repetitive, I just keep skipping because I needed to be fast. And that's how I did. But obviously, I left some topics in between some subjects which I didn't feel like studying at that point because it's just too much information overload on my brain. Like there
True.
were lots of topics like that which I just left thinking I'll study later on, but I actually did. But I think if it have finished it then itself, I would have extra time later on. And during the revision time, whenever I take a subject, whatever topics I've not covered, I don't think they're very big topics that are not covered. If they're big, I will finish there only. There are small topics, like for suppose Booth's algorithm was there. I literally didn't want to study about that because it like literally some 5 to 6 questions have come till now in it. I didn't want to study about it. But then I did study at the end, towards the end, like in January, I thought, why not just study? Like, why to leave a topic? Because if they're going to ask a question in the topic, I will miss on it. I don't want to be missing on something which I could have studied. Maybe if it's a conceptual thing that my brain can't understand, that's another thing. But I don't want to miss it just because I didn't study that topic. But at the
True.
end, I think I completed each and every topic. You can ask me any topic, I would have touched it. Not maybe not the depth in some topics, but I would have touched it somehow to at least,
All the
think
topics, right?
something and try to solve the topics. Yeah.
Great. And one thing more, I want to know whether you have followed the some of the books, or completely you have followed the professor or lecturers or notes, anything, or whether you
Um,
have studied the books also for that.
no books. I don't think I can read books for exams. It'll just go above my brain. I need to have a person before me like explaining and to have that visual stuff. So obviously I didn't use any books. Mostly it's YouTube or for CDS and Algo, not books, but Google and stuff I used. But never no books. I've never used any books. That's all.
Great. And one of the student asking the one question: how many
Yeah.
mock tests you have written, right? You have attempted.
Yeah. Yeah. Around 15, 17, I guess.
That is
15 to
the full length
17.
or topic subject wise?
Full length
Oh,
mock
full
test.
length.
Topic subject, I think, I don't know, I didn't count. But
And
depends on
how
the
much?
topic, I didn't know. It just
Okay, 15 or
yeah,
16. And what was your highest marks and the lowest marks?
yeah. As I said, my lowest marks were around 45. My highest was 75. That's all. My main goal was actually to have above 75 marks. I thought it'll be set and all 75. It's enough for getting below 200 rank. But if you see now, if anyone has got 75 marks in set one, they are done for. Like they're getting like around 250, I guess they get 270 or something. I saw somewhere the people are getting with 70 marks, they're
Great.
getting that much rank.
So 75 in the mock test, but in the final exam, you have secured 91.33 marks, right? That
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
that is the great, right? So
yeah,
one thing more, can you elaborate it? Why in the mock test? All because it's not happening only with the you, Anigba, right? This
yeah,
has
yeah,
happened
yeah,
with the everybody, right? Most of the student, what actually I observed in the test series or in the mock test, they are basically getting the less marks as compared to the
yeah,
final exam. Why it is
yeah.
going to happen?
I think basically what happens in test series, I think two things differ. What is one thing, if you're usually test series are given by different coaching institutes, right? So if you take one coaching institute test series, they, I mean, based on what they have thought on, based on what they think are important topics and unique topics, they tend to keep those questions in that. If you do not take that coaching, you wouldn't know some topics or some questions, some pattern they're trying to follow. So based on that, you lose some marks. And the next thing is, normally itself, coaching institutes tests are a bit difficult than the gate paper. I mean, nowadays actually gate paper is coming easier. Maybe if you go in the past, it was a bit difficult, I mean, medium level, but now it's a bit easier only. So I think it differs like that. It's mostly
Okay,
dependent on the difficulty level only. You can't just say, like, sometimes it can also happen that you get good marks in mocks, but not very good marks in gate. It depends on
gating,
the
yeah.
difficulty level of the paper.
But nowadays, something what happened now actually, whenever the people are basically making the mock test now, they are
Yeah,
basically thinking in such a manner that should be a little bit difficult size, so that whenever the
yeah,
student will attempt because in the gate paper, what you can feel, there are some of the questions were very easy. Some of the question they
yeah,
will
yeah,
ask into the moderate level. Some of the question were
yeah,
definitely difficult also. But in the
yeah,
mock test, around 50% marks or question you will get the difficult actually,
yeah.
right? So this is the one of the
Most
reason.
of the mocks, I don't think I was able to even finish some questions. Like, it's
True.
just lengthy also. Sometimes mocks are like you need to have a lot of time. But in the actual exam, you say I finished the exam in 2 hours because it was literally very easy and it didn't take any time as well.
Definitely. And this was your first attempt or second attempt for the gate?
No, this was my first attempt. I
First
never even
attempt.
thought
Okay,
of writing
great.
it. Yeah.
Because your stories are somehow the similar to the my story actually. I have also
Oh,
secured
okay.
all India rank 23, right? But
Oh,
I
okay.
have also studied only for the 2.5 month or 3 month actually, right?
Oh,
But
oh.
but at the particular time there was no such type of competitions are basically there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
because at the time the PSU are basically not connected through the gate examination. At the time you have to
Oh,
write the gate examination only for the higher studies. And the people who
oh,
are studying into the IIT or NIT, they are not basically bothering to crack the gate exam. They are not interested in the
yeah,
gate,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But still, some of the people like me, they are writing the paper. I have write the paper just like that, right? I have only done the some previous year questions. From the questions, I have learned the concept. Then I have written the paper and secured
Mm-mm,
all India rank
yeah,
23.
that's very good.
But
Wonderful. Yeah.
nowadays, definitely you cannot skip any of the topic because we cannot say
Yeah,
nowadays the
yeah,
examiner are basically asking the question in 360-degree manner, right? Every
yeah,
topic they are basically going to touch, right? So you have to prepare in a good manner. One thing more,
yeah,
in which subject you are feeling very difficulty during the rep paper also and during the
yeah, yeah.
study also, right?
I think actually during my BTech, I used to like TOC as a subject, like literally. But when I was preparing for GATE, when the decidability and all of those came in between, I was like, what? Like, you need some practice with that topic. Unless you see the pattern in the questions, you wouldn't
True.
understand what applies to what things and stuff. And that too, when you're doing self-study, when you're trying to find resources on the YouTube, one person says something, the other person says something. It was just literally confusing to me. I found it very difficult until the end. I thought I'll make it in the exam, but again, I made the silly mistake in TOC. Again, I was like, this subject is going to eat my head till the end.
So how much marks you have attempted actually for the gate 2025?
Actually, I attempted each and every question. I didn't want to leave everything, so I
100
just
marks.
attempted everyone. Yeah, I attempted every question I attempted.
Oh,
I
great.
knew one question I was wrong. Like last 2 minutes, I was sitting on it. I know it was wrong, but I didn't want to take a chance on what if my option was correct. Only one question I was very like maybe it can be wrong, so I just put it off. Doesn't matter. I just put it and came. I attempted all questions.
One thing more, Nigma, I actually, in the paper two, you have secured
Yeah,
around 91.33, and after the normalization, it will become 87, 88, right?
88. Yeah, yeah,
88.
yeah.
Three, so approximately 3 marks reduced, right? People
Yeah,
who are in the set two, they got
yeah,
12 marks extra, right? That
yeah,
is not extra. So whether that type of difference of the, you can say that 12 marks or 3 marks, that is approximately 15 marks, whether it
yeah.
is justified with the student.
I think it is totally like unfair for the students for both set one and set two as well. What will set two people do? Like they got a difficult paper and they can't do anything. And set one people like they literally had to sit in the exam, finish those many questions with that much accuracy, trying to, even though the paper was easy, in an exam hall, you sitting there and trying to have that much accuracy is also difficult to me. And at the same
Definitely.
time, trying to maintain the mindset for a person who's writing the set two paper is also difficult. We can't say anything about this because normalization also works like that. It's like we can't do anything. But I think the institute, the IIT Roorkee should have done it better. Like make two papers in the same difficult level. Like they're not going to lose anything, right? If you wanted to test the people or the students, make two papers difficulty only. What's the difference? Like make two papers difficult, then you will find the level of the students.
True, true, true.
Trying to make one easy and trying to make one difficult is like very different. And also in the difficult paper, also I've heard that there were some topics like in each topics they've asked some questions, right? Maybe a
True.
person from set one who had like as I said, I studied all those topics. If I have written set two, maybe I would have gotten better marks because I've studied those topics. Who knows? Because that kind of regret will be left in the students based on
True.
this. And that much marks of normalization, I don't think it justifies. Maybe they have to change the difficulty because level of the paper if you're conducting in two sets.
Definitely, because earlier what actually we have to deliver to the student, na? Because the gate paper was very balanced, right? You can say
Yeah,
that
yeah.
about 50% questions were easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
30% questions were moderate, and 20% question were difficult. Like that, in the every year they are
Yeah,
maintaining like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
In this year,
Yeah,
making the one paper easy, one paper difficult, it's not justifying, right? Yeah,
yeah,
whether you have to make both the paper easier or difficult,
yeah,
so that both
yeah,
the student will get benefit or disadvantage, like that it is going to be happen,
yeah, yeah.
right?
I
Last
know
year
at the
also
end of the
happening.
day,
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's okay, it's okay. You can continue.
Last year also happened like that, but the normalization factor was very less actually. We can say that in this type of huge amount, मतलब 15-16 number का difference, it's
Yeah,
never
yeah, yeah, yeah,
justified to the student, right?
yeah,
Because people who have written into the second paper, suppose second shift, and
yeah,
they
yeah,
got a question in which more time they have to devote. Suppose all the
yeah,
question,
yeah,
all the options they have to verify to get the correct answer. So they are
yeah,
devoting more time. Suppose 10 to 12 minutes they have devoted to the what time, they indirectly they will get the pressure. So in the next
yeah,
question,
yeah,
they may do the mistake, right? They will get the
yeah.
pressure. So how you will measure the pressure, right?
Yeah,
So
the mental ability of the student can't be measured with normalization. It's just random marks you're putting into the formula. Some mathematical things just can't, do stuff like this. At least you have to
true.
maintain the same level for both the sets or conduct it in one set or find another solution rather than, putting fights between set one and set two students. I've seen people just fighting when the, response sheet come out. Like set one people were
True.
like, no, that much normalization is not possible. Set two people were like, it's unfair for us. Then there are no toppers in our set, then we will be like around 300, 500 ranks and stuff like that.
True. But Anigma, congratulations once again, and you are true inspiration for the lots of students who are from tier 3 college and they want to crack the GATE exam with a single digit, with a double digit rank. Of course, you have studied only for the 5 months and you got the 20 rank. So the people
Yeah,
who are study from the tier 3 college, they have the one opportunity, right? Or one thing only. You have
yeah,
to crack
yeah,
that exam with a good manner, go to the IT, grab a good opportunity or
yeah,
placement
yeah,
like
yeah,
that, right? So definitely you are a true motivation for such a student who are studying into tier 3, tier 4 college, right?
yeah.
So Anigma, once again, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Can I, can I leave?
Yes. Thank you, Anigma, and definitely the student got motivated from there, right?